We've been married for 10 years.
So it will be 10 years, inshallah, this November.
By the grace of God and through His sheer blessings and mercy, we've been married this year for 6 years. It's 6 years, isn't it?
I'm glad you remembered.
The best answer you've given your life.
Don't show you shocked too much.
The reason why, not our life events, but life events of people.
Yeah, that's, yes.
I know.
It's a joke.
Doing any sort of activity that revolves around, our worship, I think it definitely brings that peace to our home to build the connections together when everyone's, very busy with their schedules. I think that has helped us.
When things are even bothering me, I try to open up and talk it over with my wife, because we need to be in sync with whatever we are doing, even if we are not
on the same page.
On the same page. We talk a lot. We talk about everything. When things are bothering my mind, I try to take guidance from her, and she does same.
Living in the way of Allah is ultimately our aim, and that's our goal, and that's our focus, to be reunited with Allah, and to bring our loved ones with us on that journey. So I think having that shared focus in the house can create peace in society on a bigger level by having that family harmony together.
We try to, talk about everything, and then that has also helped to build the friendship that we have. So if, let's say he's having a problem, we talk about it. If I'm having a problem, we try to, solve it together.
Now, for me personally, doing the miles with Melissa and the kids just gives you a space to think and connect. And the saying that a family that prays together stays together, just having that regular feature of doing the miles together, I really feel like it creates a sense of peace and love and tranquility.
For nikah, I guess it would be, was it August? Or July? June, sorry.
I can say that my husband has become my closest friend since we got married 10 years ago, and this month marks our 10 years anniversary, actually.
I think empathy is such a huge quality, and it's one of Allah's attributes about being beneficent and being merciful to mankind, in the same way that we could try and practice that in our own marriage by trying to be empathetic towards the other person.
It's really helped me understand a taqwa and like a fear of Allah more, because that was something that I feel like, you hear about it growing up, but it's kind of, difficult to relate to sometimes. But, once you're married and you have that feeling that like, oh, I don't want to do anything because I don't want to disappoint them, but it's just loving, a being or something so much that you don't want to disappoint them.
And I think the stronger I developed in my faith and learned about Islam more, it's reminded me to be humble and to listen and take time to understand, because sometimes your ego overtakes what you're trying to get across.
Somebody who you didn't know before, and the act of learning to love them and letting them love you, like that is so beautiful.
I think with this answer, you need time to think about it.
Can I come back to that one?
It has been always my practice that when we are not when we are not in good terms on issues, I try to make sure that we leave the scene and I come later, by which time things have calmed down and we talk about it.
What usually helps people that are in, that sort of situation is to try to find some sort of common ground.
The Holy Prophet ﷺ said that if you're ever in an argument or a disagreement with someone, not just your partner, just anyone, to not leave it more than 3 days before resolving things. And I think that's really important, because I think the longer you leave something, the more your heart can fester, and the more you can create resentment in your own heart about things that perhaps weren't even that big in the first place, but it can kind of spiral and snowball.
I think one of the things that definitely has helped us as a family is, coming together for namaz. When you unite, in one particular purpose, then I think that does help us see our conflict with a clearer lens.
I think in marriage sometimes things happen where you think you're right. You think what I'm saying is absolutely, it's the only way forward, and you fail to see the other side of the story. When sometimes that side of the story or that perspective from your partner's perspective works out better. And I think the stronger I developed in my faith and learned about Islam more, it's reminded me to be humble and to listen and take time to understand, because sometimes your ego overtakes what you're trying to get across. Listen, should be a whole list of things. Just pick one of those things and they only ask for one.
You're quite a determined person. You're quite persistent, but also quite determined in terms of like the work that you do. Once you've got a task, for example, then you spare no effort basically to make sure that whatever the job is done well.
There's no limit to what she will sacrifice and what she will do for the people that she cares about.
He tries to, lead by example. So whatever he's doing, he knows that as a leader, he's supposed to do something that others will see.
He is a silent leader. And if he sees something and it connects with him particularly deeply, he will start immediately acting on it.
The atmosphere you make at home is something which is admirable. And I think if it wasn't for that, the kids wouldn't know the dua before they go to sleep, or the dua before they go on a journey, or saying Jazakumullah regularly, or even the actions in namaz, and Jibril wearing a topi and Juwairiya wanting to wear a scarf and stuff, it's all come from you, and that's why they say paradise lies under the feet of the mothers.
I'll try not to cry.
Seriously.
His sense of responsibility and supportiveness. He's very responsible and supports in everything.
Is that all you can say?
I'll just simply describe.
Learning to love and experiencing emotions, both good and bad that you never imagined before. The type of emotional happiness that your spouse can give you, I don't think you can get from anybody else. The type of remorse and disappointment that you can feel if your spouse is disappointed in you, you can't get that anywhere else. And I feel like when you experience those really strong emotions in marriage, it helps me reflect better on my relationship with Allah Ta'ala.
That attribute of a creator in Allah the Almighty, I've seen through the kids. And I think that seeing those stages of development really makes you wonder and appreciate the greatness of Allah the Almighty.
In Surah Al-Rum, it is stated that He has put love and tenderness between you and the wife. When we got married, that was when I really felt the true meaning of that Quranic ayah, because that was when we started getting along and our love for each other deepened. The love and tenderness between ourselves and the love that we have for Allah have increased when we got married.
Sometimes your partner, or you feel your partner, can be almost your nemesis at that time. In those times, I think your reliance on Allah becomes stronger, because you realise that it's only really through prayer and trying to humble yourself and trying to see things from another perspective that's how you then come together again.
God works in mysterious ways. So it has helped us to know that we should submit our will to God and then pray to Him about everything. He will answer it at the right time.